What's up guys, AJ here. In this video, I'm going to be talking all about objection handling when it comes to expired listings. Now, I recorded 4 of the top objections that you're going to get from expired listings and really why you need to have this arsenal of objection handlers when it comes to prospecting. So watch the video, enjoy it, and we will see you in the next one. And hey, if you get some value from this video, please subscribe to the channel and give me a thumbs up. What is an objection handler? If you've been in real estate for a while and you're lead generating, you're prospecting, you know that when it comes to seller prospecting, there's a lot of objections that come up. In fact, there's actually only 6 main ones that you're going to get on a consistent basis. And I actually wrote down my definition of what an objection is. An objection is something the seller says that you can use to open dialogue with the goal of setting an appointment. Now, when you understand that an objection is something that you can actually overcome, that's why we have these objection handlers, right? Then you can effectively open dialogue to set the appointment. Whereas you also need to understand what a condition is. And I wrote down the definition of a condition is a situation where no matter what, the seller is not going to be moving. And the goal then is to turn it into a nurture. It's more about building the pipeline. A couple examples of objections that you're going to get on a consistent basis is, hey, I'm going to sell it myself. Another one would be, I'm staying with the same agent. These are 2 things the seller might say that when you get really good with your scripts, you can open the dialogue and actually work through the script to set an appointment without just getting stuck in your tracks. I know a lot of times when you're newer to prospecting and you haven't yet become a pro at it, you end up kind of just getting stuck in your tracks and stopping the call because you don't know what to say next. That's why these objection handlers are so important. And in the next handful of videos, I'm going to continue talking about objection handlers, and I'm actually going to show you verbatim all of mine. Read them, talk about them, and also have a link in the description where you can download my scripts. Now, a condition is going to be the kids are back in school. Maybe they wanted to sell their house during the summer, but as soon as the kids got back in school, they're like, you know what, we're just going to keep it off the market during the school year and sell it next summer. For a lot of families, that's a real condition. I know if my kids were in school, no chance. I'm not going to sell the house. My kids are 3 and 1, so I don't have that situation going on right now. But who really wants to have a bunch of showings happening, be in the middle of a move during the school year? You know, not a lot of families are going to, unless there's real motivation. And if there's real motivation, you can usually sense that even before they give that objection. Or they probably won't give that objection anyways. That wouldn't be their objection because they're a motivated seller. Another objection is going to be, hey, I'm just going to stick with the same agent. Now, this is one that you're going to get a lot and one that you can easily overcome when equipped with the right scripts. I've actually found that most agents don't even know the difference between an objection and a condition. And when you don't understand the two, you just sit there beating your head against your desk, beating the phone against your head. You just get frustrated. You're like, why can't I convert these? Why does every call feel like a fight? Whereas when I prospect, it's more of a dance, and I'm not really aggressive in my approach. I understand when they give me an objection that they want to sell their house now and I can still help them. Whereas if it's a condition, I quickly understand, hey, let me get off this call as quick as possible and then just continue to build out my nurture farm, my pipeline, versus trying to convert them into an appointment now. It's really just a waste of time, and it becomes really frustrating as a prospector. So when you learn this, you actually have more fun when it comes to prospecting and you become way more efficient.
Or taking it off the market. Have you heard that when prospecting expired listings or even for sale by owners, this works? Guys, they're wanting to take it off the market because they're sick and fed up with having to deal with showings, or more honestly, the lack of showings. They're like, no one wants to pay what we want for it. We can't get what we want, so we're just going to take it off the market and wait. But if they still want to sell their house, is that a good strategy? No. So in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what to say when it comes to handling the objection of we're taking it off the market. So let's get right into it. I'm going to read it verbatim as it's written and we'll talk about it. So when they say it, you just say, hey, got it, no problem. But let me ask, if I could still get your home sold right now at a price acceptable to you, would you still consider it? Great question, straight to the point. Easy close. Okay, great. Well, let me ask you then, what would have to happen before selling it? If I can make that happen, would you let me sell the home for you? So ask them what needs to happen and then say, hey, if I can do that, can I sell it for you? You know, it's like, this ain't hard, guys. You know, it's just having the confidence to ask the questions. Great. Tell me what is the benefit for you to do that? So they say no. You didn't set the appointment yet. They're just like, no, we're just taking off the market. So now it's like, hey, well, let's peel this onion. Why are you taking off the market? What is the benefit of taking it off the market? So go back to them with, I mean, if you knew you could sell in this market and net what you want, wouldn't you at least consider it? It's okay to say that again. Set the appointment. Because the first time you come at them, they're like wall up. They're not even hearing what you're saying. So sometimes you got to circle back with the objection handlers that you're using. Oh, I see. Just out of curiosity, where were you moving when it sold? So now you're kind of getting back into the main script to keep the conversation flowing. That's great. Why was that important? So, hey, we're going to move to Florida because, we just like having no state tax, whatever the reason is. Hey, why was that important? You want to get that out. Well, if I still could get you to Florida so you don't have to pay state tax anymore, if I could still make that happen, if a contractor presented to you today, would you still sell it? Great. So there is a desire to move as long as you don't have to go through what you did last time, right? Great. Set the appointment. So this is a super easy one, straightforward. They're usually just coming from the standpoint of, hey, we're fed up. We've had enough. We are just done. We need a break. So you got to kind of talk some rationality back into them and get them to where they'll let you come out for a listing appointment, and if you do a good job, you'll be the one listing the house. I'm going to stay with the same agent. If you've been calling expireds for a while, you've heard that objection, and if it's been stumping you, this video is going to make you a lot of money. My name is AJ Mida, and I built my career on expired prospecting, for sale by owner prospecting, became one of the top listing agents in my market, and in fact sold 36 houses in my second year as an individual agent at the young age of 26 years old. I know I look young, but that was a decade ago. So let's dive into this script. I'm just going to read it verbatim and we'll talk about it. And there's going to be a link in the description that you can check out to download all my scripts. So check that out. So let's just dive into it. So seller says, hey, I'm just going to stick with the same agent. Great. Tell me, what is the benefit for you to do that? Let them talk. Don't just end the call and get all flustered. Have the script on the wall in front of you so that you can take them through this structure of a call. So they're going to say something and then you can respond with, what is the last agent going to do differently this time to make sure that it sells that they didn't do last time? So what you're doing is you're creating doubt. They start to think, well, hey, I haven't had that conversation with my last agent. They never said they were going to do anything differently. Maybe I should start to interview other agents. Maybe there is a different approach. So you're starting to plant that seed of doubt that there might be a better fit for them out there, because in most cases, that is the reality. They probably do need a new agent. So you need to help them self-discover that through the use of scripts. If you knew 100% I could sell it for you in this market and net you what you need, would you at least consider it? It's a great question to ask. Usually they'll say they're open-minded to it. Sure. Set the appointment. Trial close. We already went through that in previous videos. If it's too soon to close, you can respond with, I understand. So they kind of shut you down when you try to set the appointment. Hey, I understand. I get it. You're committed to that last agent. But let me ask, would you say you feel a bit obligated to your last agent because they invested time and money into your house? Yeah. And when they originally listed the house, they most likely intended to sell it, right? And they probably did everything that they could to get it sold. Wouldn't you agree? And yet your house didn't sell. I'm convinced that's not for the lack of effort. I think it's more likely in the approach. Your house needs a new approach. So what you're doing is you want to separate the fact that, hey, the agent did the best they could. It's really not even really the agent's fault. They're a good person. What you need is just a new approach. Your house needs a new approach. So you're kind of separating the approach from the agent, because they feel bad switching agents oftentimes because they know that the agent put time and effort into it. But you start to help them understand that, hey, they're going to do the same thing that they did last time. You need a new approach. So that's what you're taking them through here. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you don't owe me or your last agent anything, but you do owe it to yourself to get this house sold for the most money, right? It certainly wouldn't hurt to hear what I do to get houses sold, wouldn't it? Set the appointment. What the script really does is it takes you through a set of great, powerful questions that gets the seller thinking, sets you up to set an appointment, and if you don't get it, it keeps the conversation flowing. And let me just remind you, when you start with these scripts, they're going to feel awkward, of course, because it's not you. I'm sure the first time that you rode a bike or started golfing or whatever you're into, like the first time you did something, you sucked. It felt awkward. I'm learning golf right now and it sucks and it feels awkward. The reality is you get better over time, and I am getting better over time. This swing starting to feel more natural. It's the same thing with scripts. When you practice them and you internalize them, they start to become your own, and then they start to flow really well and effortlessly. Mr. Seller, if you do the same thing and go with the same agent, isn't it likely that you'll get the same result? I'm just asking for a quick meeting to show you a different approach to get a different result, and that result is getting your house sold. Set the appointment. What has this agent shared with you that has you 100% confident that they can get your home sold on their second try? Love that question. Straight to the point. You're piercing through that wall that they're trying to build. What has this agent shared with you that has you 100% confident that they can get your home sold on their second try? And the key part of that script, so make sure you do not leave this out when you use it, is what has you 100% confident that they can get your home sold? See, when we meet, if you don't know the answer to that question, if you're not 100% sold on why I'm going to sell your house, then you have no obligation to hire me. So let's go ahead and get together. Set the appointment. So guys, that right there is one of the most common objections that you're going to get, that they just want to stay with the same agent. Sellers want to do what's easy. Switching agents, now they got to interview them. They got to go through that whole process again, get new photos taken, get a new sign in the yard. Honestly, who really wants to go through all that effort if they think all agents are the same? So it's your job as a great agent to really show them, hey, you need a new approach. Not all agents are the same. Your last agent likely doesn't have any more ideas or any more value to add above and beyond what they did their first time. So using this script, you're helping them self-discover that, hey, maybe I should open myself to interviewing a new agent to get the job done. Now that you're getting equipped with these objection handlers, and we got 5 of the most common ones coming up in the next video, so subscribe to this channel and hit the alert bell so you get notified. But if you're ready to get started, start taking action now, there's a link in the description to a seller prospecting course for free, and a link in the description to RedX, save $150 to get started calling expires. Have you ever called an expired listing and they said they're going to sell it themselves? So they just had it with an agent, maybe 3 months, 6 months on the market, didn't sell. They're not happy, and they're just like throwing their hands up, and they're like, we're selling ourselves. We're not dealing with any more agents. Well, if that hasn't happened to you, it means you haven't started prospecting yet. And if it has happened to you, well, this video is going to happen, both of you, because now we're getting into exactly what to say when the seller says, hey, I'm going to sell it myself, for sale, by owner. My name is AJ Mida. I actually built my career seller prospecting a decade ago. I actually sold 36 houses in my second year as an agent at the young age of 26. And it's with these scripts that I've developed and I've learned and I've compiled that it helped me accomplish that. Made well over 6 figures that second year in real estate in a brand new market that we had just moved to all the way from California. So there's no doubt in my mind that you too can have great success with these objection handlers. Go back and watch my previous video. I'll link it up here. And I talked about what to do when a seller says, hey, I'm staying with the same agent. And in this video, we're going to cover the for sale by owner objection. And we got 4 more of the most common ones coming. So make sure you stick all the way to the end because we're going to talk about that. So without further ado, let's get into it. Seller says, I'm going to sell it myself. So what you respond with is, great, tell me, if there was a specific benefit for you to list your house with me today, would you at least consider it? Awesome, set the appointment. Too soon? Great. Well, let me ask you then, what would have to happen first? Let them talk. Doesn't matter what they say. Great, that is exactly why we need to meet. Set the appointment. Too soon? Okay, so tell me, what is the benefit for you doing that? So basically, they're giving you objection after objection. And then you're saying, well, tell me what is the benefit for you to selling it yourself? You're trying to get them to say why they're selling it themselves. So then you get to kind of open it up and get more into a dialogue about how you can help them and why they should not go for sale by owner. So going on to section 2 of the script. Okay, so tell me, what is the benefit for you doing that? They'll say whatever. Yeah, and after what you've been through, I get it. Like, I understand why you want to list yourself. And I agree, you'll generally be better off going for sale by owner than to list with an agent who doesn't understand the market and what it takes to sell houses. You know, most agents just place a sign in the yard, place your house on the MLS, and wait for some other agent to come along and sell it for them. This is gold because most expired listings will say to you, like, they didn't do anything. So when you're calling out their experience with their last agent, that's good for you. I do a whole lot more than that. I study the market every day and stay in constant communication with my clients about the market and what's going on with their house. Also, I proactively and aggressively prospect for buyers for my listings every day. Is that the kind of agent you're looking for? I mean, if you were to hire one, of course that's what they're looking for. Great leading question. Fantastic. That's exactly why we need to get together, set the appointment. Boom. And that's it. So guys, the biggest thing is the seller's just kind of like fed up. Like they still want to sell their house, but they're just like, every agent's the same. I'm just going to do it myself. So you just got to keep kind of pushing back a little bit on them, figure out why they really want to do it themselves. It's usually just because they think every agent's the same, so they're going to get the same result with every agent. Or they're finally like, hey, last agent did nothing. I can do nothing myself and actually save the commission. So that's kind of where their head's at. So using this, you'll take them through the conversation. You'll open them up a little bit, and there's a good chance you'll at least get in the door for an interview before they decide to list it themselves. And the good news is you do a good job on your listing appointment, you'll get that listing. Have you been calling expired listings and you get the dreaded, I found another agent? Guys, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how to overcome that objection. And just to let you know, I actually started it back in all the way in 2013, can you believe it? With expired listings for sale by owners. And in my second year, I sold 36 houses as an individual agent at the young age of 26. So let's get in with it. So I'm just going to read it verbatim, follow along with me. The seller says, hey, I've already found another agent. Well, respond with, great. So just out of curiosity, have you already signed a contract? You have to ask that because if they already signed a contract, well, then it's hands off end that call and go on to the next one. However, if they haven't yet signed the contract, it's fair game. So they respond, no, haven't signed a contract yet. You respond with, perfect. I'd like to apply for the job of selling your home. I actually specialize in selling houses that didn't sell the first time, and you'd be surprised even some of the best houses don't sell the first time around. So you're instilling them confidence that, hey, your house is great. I'm sure it's not the reason it didn't sell. You just need a different agent who actually specializes in selling homes that didn't sell the first time. Set the appointment. If it's too soon, go on to, this is going to sound kind of silly, but if you had to go to a doctor because you were really sick and you found it involved surgery, you'd want another opinion, right? Well, I know this isn't surgery, but yet it's financial surgery and it's just as important. So kind of silly. I personally didn't use this all the time. I didn't love that one so much, but if it's your style, go with it. And in the right situation, I definitely used it because you want to stress upon them the importance of a second opinion. And really, that's the best way to say it. You're essentially just trying to interview for the job of selling their home in addition to the agent that they said they already decided upon. Go into the close right after you say, well, you know, this isn't surgery, but financially it is just important. Let's meet for about 20 minutes and you'll see why so many people have decided to hire me over the other agents. I mean, Mr. Seller, if you knew you could get more money and a quicker sale, you'd want to at least meet with me, right? Hey, who doesn't want more money? Who doesn't want a quicker sale? If they knew that that could happen with you as the agent, it only makes sense that they meet with you, right? So you're basically, getting them to creak the door open for an appointment. You're asking questions that have answers that are in your favor, obviously. They say, well, yes, set the appointment. If not, go on to number 3. What is it about your agent that has you 100% confident that this time they can get your home sold? See, when we get together, if you don't get the answer to the question, if you're not 100% sold on why I'm going to sell your house, then you have no obligation to hire me. So let's go ahead and get together. Does Thursday or Friday work best? We have just a couple more objection handlers left in this series, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the alert bell so you get notified of all the upcoming videos, and link in the description if you want a free download to the scripts.